Hello Nigeria, welcome to Newsline. I am Becky Madujemo. Hello women, how you're doing? Wherever you're watching me at this moment, I need you to know that you are intelligent, beautiful, loving, patient, wonderful, and loved. Because it's your day, go ahead and celebrate yourself. Give yourself a hug because you deserve it. And Newsline will prove how special you are in many ways. Women mean a lot to the world. Firstly, they give birth to everyone in the world. They are homemakers, nurturers, and professionals. And we have several reports that showcase why society, especially men and children, adore the women in their lives. We have other topical reports on issues, places, and events. Please be our guest and stay for the long haul. Let's begin as always with the news. Joseph Johnson will anchor tonight, and I'm wondering why him? Why not Claire, Lydia, or Elizabeth? What are you doing there, Joseph? What are you doing there?
Becky, well, it's part of the day's celebration. I'm here representing all Nigerian men in celebrating a beautiful, amazing, indefatigable, industrious Nigerian women. So, as a gentleman, I have to tell Elizabeth, step aside and let me do the honors. So welcome to the news segment of Newsline. Now, let's just pause a little bit from the trending coronavirus story and talk about women, because equal rights, equal opportunities and privileges are the demands of women over the world as they mark this year's International Women's Day. Nigerian women are not left out in adopting the theme, I am Generation Equality. Momso Demendati takes us through the peculiar stories of women.
Today, the 8th of March is the International Women's Day. Amarachi Solomon, a hairstylist, is busy scouting for customers and has no idea on the existence of such a day.
I don't know anything about International Women. I'm just hearing it for the first time.
She's not the only one. Many others don't too. But that does not change the fact that women all over the world are celebrating. Nigeria is no different. Diverse events and activities, the latest being a Thanksgiving service led by the Minister of Women Affairs, Paul and Talent, with diverse women groups, civil society organizations, and development partners, including the United Nations. Not minding the distance, they all find their way to the St. Peter and Paul Catholic Church near Abuja, where it all ended in praise.
The woman contributes more than 60% of the national development of this country, from the home front right to all other levels, yet she's never recognized. The core message is to give more attention to issues concerning women and children, particularly the girl child.
That's not all. The Catholic Archbishop of Abuja Diocese, Dr. Ignatius Kaigama, and other men agree with this position.
Our various cultures seem to have kind of subordinated the women to the background, and there are various acts of injustices, unfairness committed against them. So we are saying equal opportunities for all.
Looking at the joy and excitement on the faces of these women may just be an indication that for the Nigerian women, there is no going back when it comes to generational equality. Momso Demendati, NTA News.
They are mothers, wives, sisters and soldiers. As the world marks International Women's Day, correspondent Najat Tijani highlights the contributions of women to the armed forces of Nigeria.
Brigadier General Christina Thomas has 32 years of service in the Nigerian Army. She says a lot has changed in favor of women since she joined.
We have women in ND now, so they are being deployed outside that's both in peacetime and in wartime. And also in Nigerian Army Women Corps that was established in March 2018 by the current Chief of Army Staff to ensure optimal performance of women. So with this, sky is the limit for women in our forces of Nigeria.
Some of these conditions have led to an increase in recruitment as well as special military units consisting of an all-female force. Similarly, the contribution of women to the Nigeria police force is setting the tone for equality, with women heading various units.
These duties require more intellect and persuasion, and sir, women are highly intelligent and persuasive.
While these achievements spell equal opportunity for both genders, no woman has reached service chief status. So in line with the 2020 International Women's Day theme, Each for Equal, can the nation expect a female IGP or air chief soon? For now, Brigadier General Thomas says she's content with being a wife, mother and soldier. Naja'atu Tijani, NTA News.
Gallant women there. Women the world over on 8th of March every year converge to celebrate the International Women's Day. And to this end, the women wing of the Christian Association of Nigeria came out en masse to celebrate the day.
What women are saying, we are thanking God for keeping us together, because we do not want war. We do not want division in Nigeria. We want to remain as one.
As you can see, the gathering of women today, we are out to say we need peace. Because where there is no peace, there is no progress.
Similarly, the Federal Character Commission marked the day with a walk.
I believe if we are given the opportunity, we will see another Nigeria.
All we are saying is give us the chance to serve and watch us serve.
When we talk about the quota for professional courses, we are advocating for at least a certain percentage of representation of girls to be given admission into professional courses.
The Commission is poised to use its principle of fairness and equity to ensure women take their rightful place in Nigeria. And wife of the President and Nigeria's First Lady Aisha Buhari has admonished women to step up as caregivers to the social and psychological need of their children for the well-being of the nation. Mrs. Buhari says the occasion of International Women's Day is not only meant to celebrate women's achievements, but it should also be a reminder of the need for women to continue playing those crucial roles towards making the world a better place for humanity. She therefore called on Nigerian women as mothers to pay more attention to children's well-being. She adds that women as mothers, wives, sisters, role models and equal stakeholders in our Project Humanity look forward to more opportunities for the realization of the full potential of the female folks for an equitable, just and prosperous society. It's Women's Day. What do you expect? We have the Minister of Women Affairs, Pauline Tallinn, in the studio, and I'm just about to talk with her. You're welcome to Newsline.
Thank you very much, Joseph.
All right. I should probably start by saying Happy International Women's Day to you. And now, the celebration is here. What is different this year, and what's your ministry doing to better the lots of Nigerian women?
Thank you very much, Joseph. I want to start by wishing all Nigerian women a happy International Women's Day.
Right.
A day set aside to look at the role of women in nation building, the contribution of women as mothers, wives, and caregivers. Nigerian women have fared so well. In the midst of very difficult situations, they are dogged, they refuse to be frustrated, they are resilient. I therefore congratulate great Nigerian women on this great day. for the good work they have been doing and for their great contribution to nation building. This year's International Women's Day, the theme is Generation Equality, the woman's right. And woman's right is human right. Developing the woman is developing the family, because the woman is the wheel of the family. She's the heart of the family.
Talking about that theme, the theme, generation equality, I mean, how realizable, because I mean, he's talking about realizing the rights of women in Nigerian context.
Yes.
Is that achievable?
Nothing is impossible with God. I am positive and I can see light at the end of the tunnel. Nigerian women have done so well, they are doing well, and I believe with what is happening in the country now, very soon, Mr. President will change his mind and increase the number of women, not just at the Federal Executive Council, the men, the governors at the state level. I commend them too. They are doing well. The number is on the increase. For the first time in the history of Nigeria, Kwara State has done what has never happened. For the first time, we have more women. We have 9 women as against 7 men, which is strange. And Lagos State is doing well, Kaduna State is doing well, Ekiti State is doing well, Sokoto, name it, Enugu. In fact, I give kudos to all our governors. In one way or the other, all our governors are doing well because the number is on the increase, and that's why the United Nations is advocating the he for she. Women are happy. Your first statement is that you believe in a Nigerian woman, and you are here celebrating with them.
Yes, indeed.
So I'm happy Joseph is a he for she.
Oh, very, very indeed. I can't agree more.
Thank you.
But just before I let you go, there's one question that, I mean, I probably will be speaking for the Nigerian men. I think so, because I just want you to explain, if you can, how can the male folks understand women? Can you tell us how to understand you women? Sometimes it seems complex, you know.
There's nothing complex about it. A woman is a mother. The hand that rocks the kettle rules the world. All our leaders today were born by a woman. They were nurtured from childhood by a woman. If she can nurture and bring up great leaders, why can't she? If she can impute in her children and bring them up to be great leaders today, what stops her from being the leader herself? There's nothing complex about understanding the woman. The woman is carefully made by God.
Indeed. And
the woman is God's last born.
And
God took his time to specially create the woman. The woman is the spice of life. You can imagine a world without a woman.
Yeah, you know.
You can imagine a home without a woman.
There are some memes
you can imagine,
and you see a voluminous encyclopedia.
That's right.
You cannot understand a woman totally. That was actually on a lighter note. Thank you very much indeed, Minister of Women Affairs, Pauline Talley. It was nice speaking with you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And that was it. I've just spoken to the Minister of Women Affairs, Pauline Talley, on the celebration of International Women's Day. Yes, among the cardinal policy objectives of the Buhari administration, and one of the big promises made by President in his campaign is the Ajaokuta Abuja Kaduna Kanu gas pipeline project. A statement from the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, says the pipeline project, which entails the engineering, procurement, construction and commissioning of 614 kilometers gas pipeline and stations traversing Kogi, Niger, FCT, Kaduna and Kano State is a section of an ambitious pipeline project to supply gas to Europe through the proposed Trans-Sahara gas pipeline and Nigeria-Morocco gas pipelines. The statement says the Federal Executive Council under President Buhari took a decisive step to fast-track the closure of all outstanding issues relating to the financing and the issuance of a sovereign guarantee to support debt service and China Export and Credit Issuance Corporation. The statement adds that the project is environmentally friendly and will contribute to the elimination of gas flaring, improve the health of communities in the oil-producing areas, reduce the nation's carbon footprints, and comply with climate control treaties to which the nation is a signatory. President Muhammadu Buhari is tasking the Lagos State government to sustain efforts at containing the coronavirus, describing steps taken so far as encouraging, reassuring and worthy of emulation. The president said that this while granting audience to Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu at his official residence. Their discussions held behind closed doors centered mainly on the global pandemic and the status of containment efforts in Lagos and other parts of the country. President Buhari appreciated the high-level preparedness and commitment of the Lagos State government in preventing the spread of the COVID-19 index case and promised desired support and assistance by the federal government.
To do what we're doing. Right, and is appreciative of the fact that I had come personally to thank him and to brief him as to what we're doing. We still have the index patient. I hear that he's responding, right, and for you to be completely out of it, there are a series of tests that needs to happen, right, and I think the entire medical personnel that are doing that are currently, monitoring him, and we're also monitoring the other people, the other set of patients that we have on the observation. All that is going on. The contact center calls them, on the daily basis, and if there's need be, they will also be asked to conduct tests, but up until last night, all of the cases in terms of tests that we've conducted have been negative. They're still running some tests as we speak, right, on some other cases. So we'll see how it goes. But the bottom line is that we certainly should not allow anything to drop off. Monitoring. That's really what we should ensure. Sometimes some of these things don't give you notice. Each time when they come, you just need to be ready and be prepared for it. It's important that Lagos just continue to raise that bar.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has sent messages to Presidents Hassan Rouhani and Moon Jae-in of Iran and South Korea respectively, and the Prime Minister of Italy expressing deep sympathies following increasing incidents of the deadly coronavirus in their countries. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media Publicity, Garba Shehu, says President Buhari commends the three countries on their efforts to contain the virus and express his confidence that with the support of the World Health Organization and other global agencies collaborating to contain the virus, it will only be a matter of time before the world sees an end to this disease. He encourages Nigerians to continue to show support to citizens of all the countries who are resident in a country, stating that there is no cause for alarm, and Italy, South Korea and Iran remain Nigeria's allies in good and bad times. The statement confirms the approved payment of the sum of 620 million naira last Friday as second tranche to assist the health ministry in curtailing the disease, bringing the total payments made so far to 984 million naira. still talking health. Health system and facilities have been strengthened to capacity to nip in the bud any outbreak of emerging health issues, particularly coronavirus. In Yobe State, correspondent Ladi Bala, who was taking around some of the health facilities and designated isolation centers, says it is a case of comprehensive preparedness awaiting action in Yobe State.
Though there is no reported suspected case of coronavirus disease in Yobe State, as only one case has been recorded in Nigeria, the level of preparedness by the state government can be described as unprecedented. Dr. Mohammed Lawal Ghana is the State Commissioner, Minister of Health. He speaks to us on the level of preparedness by the state government to curtail, or rather to contain, the outbreak of coronavirus in the state.
Also repositioned commodities and equipment, basically the general personal protective equipment, face masks, eye shields, the use of aprons, hand gloves, and then of course provided hand washing, hand hygiene materials at the level of the healthcare facilities.
Consequently, there is a strong coordinating effort among relevant bodies such as the Primary Healthcare Management Board, Directorate of Disease Control and Immunization / Incident Management, as the Emergency Operations Centers functions 24 hours to handle any outbreak.
This data control room was specifically set up to ensure that we have real-time online monitoring of all data, surveillance data, and routine data that are coming from all across the 17 areas of Yobe State.
Already, an isolation center has been set up with necessary protective gadgets, oxygen, ventilating machines, and related medical commodities to address any emerging health issues, especially coronavirus disease. State Teaching Hospital Intensive Care Unit has also been upgraded and equipped for life-supporting services to patients with critical conditions. Some of the equipment on ground include modern ventilators to supply oxygen for a long period of time, monitors, infusion pumps, and blood warmers, to mention but a few. In Damaturu, Ladibala, NTA News.
Ascertaining genotype for aspiring couples has become a prerequisite for a happy married life. This is to avoid the consequences that could mar the joy of the home where couples fail to ascertain their genotype before contracting marriage. This was the thrust of discussion at the workshop by Vision 2020 on sickle cell disorder. Basi Itaikbang reports.
Sickle cell disease is a genetic blood disorder which occur when a child inherits a trait from each parent that causes most of their red blood cells to form into crescent rather than disc. It is said that he who wears the shoes knows where it pinches. So, the discussions on the recurrent pains and complications caused by sickle cell disorder by sufferers is heart-touching, and everything must be done to ensure aspiring couples acquaint themselves with required knowledge on their genotype before contracting marriage.
And not just knowing your genotype. Be strong enough to make the right decisions. You cannot say love, 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 and then you bring a child that will still come and start falling sick and having issues. Yes, we are saying, okay, you can try with sickle cell disorder, but the complications are not easy, and it's not everybody that can really overcome it.
Yes, just like how I warned, sickle cell anemia could be avoided. Dr. Okoma speaks on management of the disease.
But there's no policy on ground to manage sickle cell. Transplant is being done, but it's not being done by the government hospitals. We need to have transplant centers. So government can be able to help establish these policies in place to actually accommodate a large number of sickle. 2-3% of Nigerians are living with sickle cell.
Speaker stressed the need to encourage people with sickle cell anemia rather than stigmatization. Basi Taikbang, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari congratulates most heartily the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo-San, as he celebrates his 63rd birthday anniversary. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, says the President, in a telephone conversation Sunday afternoon to his deputy, commends Professor Osinbajo's loyalty and dedication to the administration. President Buhari notes that the intellectual capacity of the Vice President has impacted positively on the overall accomplishments of the federal government, most notably in the economic and social intervention programs. He joins family members, friends and associates of Professor Osinbajo to wish him a joyous birthday celebrations and praise Almighty God to endow the Vice President with greater wisdom and long life to continue to serve the nation and humanity. And as the Vice President of the country, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, turns 63, messages of goodwill have been pouring in to celebrate him. The Northern Governors Forum, in a warm felicitation to the Vice President, through its chairman, Governor Simon Lalong, describes Vice President Yemi Osinbajo as a unique gift to Nigeria and applauds Professor Osinbajo's performance as chairman of the National Economic Council, which has positively impacted on the Nigerian economy. President of the Senate Ahmad Lawan, in a statement by the Special Advisor to the President of the Senate on Media and Publicity, Ola Owoni, notes the many outstanding achievements of Osinbajo as an erudite lawyer, revered clergyman and political leader who has brought his diverse experiences to bear on his role in government. The Speaker, House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, also extols the virtues of Vice President Yemi Osinbajo and says the Vice President personifies humility, sagacity, sincerity, patriotism. He says the Vice President is one of the most honest people he had come across. In the same vein, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Chief Timipre Silva, congratulates Vice President Yemi Osinbajo on his 63rd birthday, and he describes the Vice President as one of the most reliable and progress-oriented leaders of this generation. They all wish the Vice President continuous good health and God's protection. Now let's bring you sports now. Nasarawa United footballer dies during their home match on Sunday against Katsina United, as Amanzi Marcus reports.
Nasarawa United players, fans, the state government and stakeholders are mourning the passing away of Chieme Martins, a defender who died in Lafia during their match against Katsina United on Sunday. An eyewitness account said the player slumped without any contact and was given the necessary first aid and then rushed to the Dalhatu Araf Specialist Hospital, Lafia, where he was confirmed dead. Nasarawa United defeated Katsina United 3-0 in one of the 9-week matches played on Sunday nationwide. Lobby Stars and Kano Pillars ended their encounter in a 2-2 draw as Plateau United beat neighbors Wiki Tourists with a lone goal at the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa Stadium, Bauchi. In beach volleyball, Nigeria's Team A and B beat their Zambian counterparts 2-0 each in the final of the Tokyo 2020 Olympic qualification second round Women's Beach Volleyball Continental Cup decided in Abuja on Saturday. However, in the absence of Kenya, Congo Brazzaville and Cape Verde, Nigeria and Zambia qualified for the final phase of the qualifiers scheduled for May.
We were able to host 22 countries last year, both male and female. But this time it's just the female. So, and we are really keen to get a ticket
Meanwhile, the third edition of the Chief of Defense Staff Barracks Youth Sports Championship has ended in Abuja, with the Defense Spikers beating Scorpion Spikers 15-12 in a one-set exhibition volleyball match to mark the end of the event, which produced new stars for the future. 4 teams from military barracks in Abuja participated in the 2-week championship, which featured badminton, volleyball, handball and basketball, with the top 3 in each sport rewarded with trophies and cash prizes.
It is heartwarming to note that all the competitors have displayed very high standard of sportsmanship, physical fitness, and the determination to emerge as the best.
Organizers promise to make the 4th edition bigger and better. With Sports Update, Amanzi Marcus, NTA News.
Let's take a quick look at the weather prospect for Monday. And that's it on the new segment of Newsline. Thank you very much indeed for watching. I'm Joseph Johnson. We take some messages now, and when we return, Becky will be here to, of course, take over and drill all the interesting stories for you. Becky, happy International Women's Day, and I hope you got my flowers.
Thanks for staying with Newsline. And of course, our first segment is dedicated to great women. Equal opportunities and privileges are rights women constantly demand for the world over. What better day to clamor for fairness than the International Women's Day? Better still, the 2020 theme, I Am Generation Equality, recognizes that the time for action is now. Having said that, let's bring in Momso Damian Dati to share inspiring stories that portray the strength of some outstanding Nigerian women.
Beatrice Godwin, a widow and mother of 3, all the way from Madala, a suburb of Abuja, finds her way to the city center with her tray of any seasonal fruits. At 50, matches young men pound for pound on the streets for buyers.
I lost my husband 2011. So 10 years now, I'm still suffering with the children. I'm training my children. The children is going to school. Suffer. So I started carving my tray for my head.
Meet Zainab Bubakaladima, a wife, mother, and businesswoman who has a passion to serve her people and add value to their lives. This desire drove her to venture into politics.
Finance for women is not as easy as the men. There's no in between where they'll say, oh, okay, she's a woman, this man pays 100 and she pays 50. No, you probably have to pay extra.
And here is Blessing Eze, going against all odds to also make ends meet.
I can't stay at home and write down. I want to help my husband because of men. Not all the time they will bring money.
Is it 8-year-old Hadiza, real name withheld, who has been raped?
They do me bad thing.
They do you bad thing?
Yes.
Like what?
When I'm sleeping, they do me bad thing.
Or these ones that have to beg for alms to feed on daily basis. Different experiences, different backgrounds, but all united by one common factor. They are women.
Oh God, I have much workload on me as a woman. When I was growing up, I wanted to be a doctor. But because my parents were not capable to send me to school, I have to go and learn handwork.
They are faced with same or similar challenges, what might be considered a global phenomenon. One of the many reasons paving way for the commemoration of the International Women's Day to celebrate their achievements and draw attention to their rights and issues of gender parity.
Women in politics, the percentage is still low, but more can be achieved.
We are saying that we are as much qualified as the men, so how come we are not part of governance? We are saying that we can do it even better if given an opportunity.
This year's event is unique with series of activities, advocacies, rallies and empowerment programs all geared towards gender equality.
The equality we are talking is inclusion into national decision making.
Though much has been achieved, but the likes of Beatrice, Zainab and Hadiza are looking forward to brighter and better days when they have overcome their unpleasant experiences to share their success stories.
Give it to those women for not giving up on their dream. Now imagine a world without women. Dare to imagine it. I know you would rather not, because you don't want to envision a colorless planet. In other words, women are indispensable. Why then does it seem as if they are being marginalized? Why is the campaign for gender equality the burden for women to bear? Anna Daniels, who says she is proudly female, went in search of answers.
She appears soft, unassuming, simple, humble, kind-hearted, and calm. Yet she is strong, resilient, intelligent, a home builder, and the best confidant. That is the strength of a woman.
I work, my wife works, but she gets home before me, take care of the children and everything. I sometimes wonder how she does that, and that is for me a mystery.
So it can't be argued. Women have a very pivotal role in nation building.
In spite of these uncommon traits which are applied in their efforts at nation building, women insist that they are underappreciated by society.
When you are a woman and you go into politics, the men intend to try to intimidate you. And some women are stronger than the others. But some of them, even the strong ones, they break at some point on the way.
Trying to bring out you're single, you're married, it crashes what we are standing in for today. So you are single, you're an advanced single, you have the characteristics, you have the person's specification to suit the role. Your marital status shouldn't stop you.
These protestations may have amplified the idea behind the 2020 International Women's Day campaign hashtag, Each for Equal.
Most of the time, the message I say to women is, embrace the no. Understand why the no. Then see how you can change it from a no to a yes.
And for my fellow women, I would say when the opportunities are there, please let us go out and compete for these opportunities. Let's not feel like the weaker gender. Let's also believe and stand that we can do it.
From their submissions, I was moved to ask if a woman can effectively run the affairs of a nation.
Someone that can control a home, can control any business and control the nation. In fact, they have more empathy.
We see in the developed countries that it's not just the men that came up and developed, it's both men and women, and we should learn from that culture.
Why then are women, especially the black race, not given their desired position in governance?
This question is very, very deep.
Most husbands will be jealous.
It's been like that since the time of history. You understand? So the women who came out to do so well in politics in different parts of the world, they have to fight for it.
These respondents agree that empowering the Nigerian woman translates to a greater nation.
It doesn't have to be having a shop. You can have a little, capital, put it in a mutual fund, have something, earn something. You can sleep and wake up and be earning money from whatever it is. And it is financial independence is not actually about, having a lot of money. It's how you spend the little one you have.
If I'm actually doing a work of, let me say, 100,000 naira, and my wife is doing a work of, let me say, 50,000 naira, when we bring it together, it can go a long way in solving family issues.
What more can I say? Well, I'm proud to be a woman, and I align with the message of the moment, which stresses an equal world is an enabled world. So, let's build a gender-equal world for speedy socio-economic growth.
Indeed, Annie, the campaign for gender equality should be louder than ever. To attain remarkable success, women have to work twice as hard as men in order to prove their mettle. And as the world celebrates Women's Day, is apt to talk about the possibility of balancing this inequality. Khadijat Akombi interacted with some women in Lagos, and they provided tips on how their fellows can stand out professionally.
On March 8 every year, global attention is focused on the achievement of women and challenges preventing them from realizing their potentials. This year's Women's Day is celebrated with the theme, I am Generation Equality, Realizing Women's Rights. I took up some women on the streets of Lagos on the International Women's Day celebration, and only this respondent is aware of the day. What do you know about the International Women's Day?
I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
I don't know anything about it. I'm very sorry.
I don't know anything.
Empowering women, especially housewives, giving them opportunity to have things to do. This is our environment now. They're chasing women that have small kiosks. If you chase them from the street, what's the provision for them?
For Senator Koforola Bokno Akerele and Alhaja Latifa Okunu, both octogenarians and former deputy governors of Lagos State, girl child education should be given top priority by government at all levels so that women will know their rights and contribute maximally to the development of their homes and society.
We have cause to celebrate, but we also don't have cause to celebrate because women have come a long way. There's hardly a field now where you don't have women. But at the same time, you still have so many out-of-school children, and the majority of those are girls.
If all the girls be given the opportunity to go to school, like all the boys, the women will shine. Marriage should not be a hindrance to education, and this can be done by government by having different avenues through which people can be married and then continue their education.
For a Lagos-based businesswoman who has been able to stand out in a male-dominated business and a social scientist, hard work, determination, and home support will go a long way in ensuring that women realize their potentials.
As a mother and as a working class woman, you need the support of your husband because the husband needs to be in the picture of your activities.
How do you bring the woman? How do you build the woman to give the woman the sense of belonging, the confidence, so that whatever space she's occupying, the woman will know that this space I'm occupying is a space where, for instance, I could use to change the course of my family.
For Emmanuel Akobi, a filmmaker, another respondent, many women in Nigeria will go places if they are supported to realize their potentials.
Before they became women, they were ladies. They will tell you, I want to become that, I want to become. When I get to the marriage, they live all those dreams. What's up with those things you once said you had? What's up with those things we already shared while we were in school? Why are you now forgetting the dreams? Some women will tell you that my husband is not allowing me. No, men should stop that, man.
It is the consensus of many that gender equality and women's rights can only be realized with proper education and the required support from all stakeholders.
Who better to inspire women than women? Thanks, Khadijat. At a time when the world is celebrating the International Women's Day, one iconic Nigerian woman who has just retired from active judicial life after 43 years in the service says she intends to focus on empowering the girl child and women in general. Judicial correspondent Femi Okewo brings us a lowdown on how Justice Bukalchua was celebrated and the impact it can have on the development of young females.
I go away with good cheers, and I pray that the Almighty Allah answers our prayers and grant us the will to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign.
For someone who herself could have been a victim of her society's indifference to the education of the girl child if she did not have dogged and enlightened parents, it is no surprise that at every point during the series of her valedictory events across the country, Justice Zainab Bukalchua made it a point of duty to tell her story and encourage parents on the viability of education for the girl child. And she had a wide platform to do that as the Court of Appeal, Nigeria's second highest court, rolled out the drums to honor her for her 43 years service to the nation's judiciary, 6 of which she served as the president of the Court of Appeal. Part of the events were the inauguration of various divisions of the Court of Appeal across the country and visits to chief executives of states to seek continuous support for the court. In each of these states, glowing tributes were paid to her for her contributions to the growth of the judiciary. But this came to a surprising climax when a Daba was organized for her in her home state Gombe, something reserved only for the exceptional in the society. And then, the naming of the Gombe State Women and Children's Hospital after her. If you think Justice Zainab Bukachua has had enough, then wait till you see the gathering at her special valedictory court session. They came from all over the place. The Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, governors, and jurists on the bar and the bench. A trend that extended to her 70th birthday celebrations, which marked her last day as a serving judicial officer. And there again, they were there. Governors, Supreme Court of Appeal justices, the Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, and his wife. The high point of the birthday celebration was her entry into the arena along with her husband, who has always been with her all through the other celebrations, Senator Adamu Bukachua. And yet again, children, most of whom are her grandchildren, were given a pride of place at the birthday ceremony.
Woman of substance, and thanks to Justice Bukachua for empowering females, and we wish her all the best in retirement. Now, in our part of the world, it is considered normal for a man to relax after a hard day's work. He does this by going to the pub for a drink, chilling at a nightclub, playing golf or whatever sports, hanging out. It all borders on expressing his personal independence. Like I said, this is quite normal and widely acceptable. But the big question is, can a woman do same? How would our society judge a woman who decides to toe that line to ease stress? I can already guess your answer. My mind's eye can see some of you shaking your heads, and that's okay. Yet, in spite of the predictable answers, Nneka Onu sought to find out how working women, wives and mothers especially, unwind given the socio-cultural boundaries that limit their options.
She is a woman. Call her your helpmate. She responds with the corresponding responsibilities. Refer to her as a home builder. There she is. Call her a hustler. She knows needs must be met. Even in the men-dominated occupations, you will always find her there trying to make ends meet. Her occupation notwithstanding, her time must be shared to factor in children, husband, and house chores, amongst other things that must be attended to. And none is expected to suffer setback at the detriment of another.
Every virtuous woman has so many roles to play, both in the family, in the society, in the workplace, and so many places.
In the midst of all this, when does she get to rest and how? Do women get maximum support from men?
We used to give her 2 days vacation. Because she's a woman.
I'm always busy. In the morning I wake up, I make breakfast, and I still live before him. And when I get back to the house, I still cook. That's dinner. And okay, the little time I have to rest will be around between 8 9.
While some women say they rest at night, no. What if their bedmates
decides that it is time to perform your conjugal obligation, what happens? Will you still rest? When do you now rest?
You don't rest. At night, you find out that most time you work up to 11, and when you work up to 11 and rest, maybe you go to bed around, say, past 11, you find out that before 3 a.m. or even some 3 a.m. they are awake.
When I come back, I continue where I stopped. At night, I will say I will rest a little bit. You know woman mountain now. When he comes back, at night, he will not allow you to rest. So I can't actually specify the time I will take my rest.
Wait a minute. Do you know that stress without rest can have medical implications? Let's hear from this health expert.
When you stress yourself, when you're under stress, you tend to develop hypertension. These women that goes through this stress, many of them does not produce enough and quality breast milk for the baby that they are breastfeeding. And it has a lot of other mental effects.
What a wonderful creature. Always resourceful, ready to give in her best. I mean, a virtuous woman. She always deserves the best and good opportunity to rest. Or don't you think so?
So men, please, women must find time to rest, to relax, and let their hair down. It's needful, considering how hard they work. Let's pause here for some commercial messages. Stay with us. Welcome back. Shareholders of Vitafoam Nigeria PLC are counting their gains following the company's increase in turnover from 17.6 billion naira in 2018 to 20.3 billion naira in 2019. Hingino John Adams reports on other aspects of Vitafoam's 58th annual general meeting in Lagos.
Vitafoam is a household name in Nigeria, having been in operation for 58 years. The company's products are present in practically every home as pillows, mattresses, or furniture. As the brand name continues to grow with several subsidiaries springing up, the financial year ended 2019 witnessed a growth with profit before tax at 2.4 billion naira as against 619.3 million naira in 2018. Profit after tax in 2019 stood at 1.57 billion against 486.10 million naira in 2018.
Right now what we're doing is to greatly work on research and development, innovating new products that meets the demand of the economy. Not just leaving it at what we used to have. We have looked at our products. We have taken our product away from what used to be to a new realm where people now get value for their money.
In view of its impressive performance, the board of directors recommended a dividend payout of 525 million naira, translating to 42 kobo per ordinary share of 50 kobo each, as against 25 kobo per share in 2018.
I'm very happy investing in Vitafoam. Reason being that you can see the turnout of shareholders.
In fairness to Vitafoam, they try to make sure that the payout, which is dividend that comes to shareholders, gets better year in, year out, notwithstanding the condition that they find themselves in terms of performance.
The shareholders are optimistic that the financial growth will be maintained or surpassed in the current financial year and beyond.
From the corporate world, we proceed to a wedding. One of the moments parents look forward to with joy and pride is when they give out a child in marriage. On such occasion, religion, politics, and tribe are de-emphasized as love rules. So it was for former governor of Ogun State, Otumba Gbenga Daniel, as his son, Olu, walks down the aisle with his heartthrob, Nofisat Mahmood, at a colorful ceremony in Lagos. Lukman Adefeso was there for Newsline.
Roll call of dignitaries include former Nigerian President,
Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed, former and serving governors, lawmakers as well as traditional rulers. They are all gathered as witnesses at the solemnization of holy matrimony between Nefisat Mahmood and Olurotimi Daniel, son of former Ogun State Governor Otunba Gbenga Daniel, which took place in Lekki, Lagos. Primate of the Church of the Lord Worldwide, Most Reverend Rufus Oshitelu, supervised as the bride and groom exchange marital vows.
For better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health.
Noting that the marriage institution was created by God to promote companionship and ensure that children are brought up with love and positive values, the Bishop of Remo Diocese Anglican Communion, the Most Reverend Michael Fakwe, in a sermon, frowned at the increasing rate of divorce in the society and how people take pride in single parenting.
Where husband and wife join hands together to raise children in godly way, those children will become products that will make their environment, their nation, their country even great.
What followed was the official public presentation of the couple as man and wife.
God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit.
At a colorful reception, guests, including wife of the Vice President, Dolapo Oshimbajo, Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun, and his counterpart from Oyo, Osun, and Ekiti states, as well as former governors, were on hand to receive the new couple who entered the reception in style. Supervising the cutting of the wedding cake, wife of the Vice President, Dolapo Oshimbajo, gave the couple tips on how to make their union blissful.
So can you give me an L? Can you give me an O? A V? E? Joy only.
While congratulating the couple, Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun urged them to love one another and make God the cornerstone of their home.
But one particular day that every parent looks forward to is a day that his or her son or daughter is getting married. I want to thank the Almighty God that we're all here to witness an occasion like this.
The groom's father, Otunba Gbenga Daniel, was no doubt a fulfilled man as he advised the new couple.
They must appreciate that they are starting life anew. They need to be their friends, and they must cooperate with themselves.
Olurotimi Daniel also shared his feeling about his heartthrob with Newsline.
I feel great. I think she's the complete package. She's every man's dream.
Life to the bride and groom. Moving on, for an institution to remain afloat for over 1 century and counting is no mean feat. This is the story of the foremost secondary school east of the Niger, Hope Waddell Training Institution, Calabar, as the drums were rolled out to celebrate the 125th anniversary of the school with an endowment fundraising dinner by the Old Students Association from all over the world. Paul Abel reports that Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, represented President Muhammadu Buhari at the epoch-making event.
Since its establishment in 1895 by Scottish missionaries, Hope Waddell Training Institution has been molding young persons in various vocations, character, and learning. Several great men who have contributed to the advancement of Nigeria and the world are products of the school, which include Nigeria's first president, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, Alvan Ikoku, Dr. Akanu Ibiam, Sir Dennis Osadebe, Professor Eyoita, Chief Emeka Ayanku, First Indigenous Chief of Naval Staff, Rear Admiral Akinwale Edet Wey, and the current one, Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibaz, among others. After 125 years, the standard which made the school an epicenter of unity, bringing students from all over the country, is taking a back seat, and the old students want to return the school's glory. The essence of this gathering, therefore, by the Old Students Association, is to raise 125 million naira as takeoff for a foundation and an endowment fund to raise the standards of the school, which churned out professionals in various fields of endeavor.
I believe that if we can take the lessons of what this institution stood for and still stands for, our country will develop and go forward.
We want to return Hope Bottle to an institution for which it was established.
After the launching, we should be able to build another Hope Bottle in Hope Bottle. The Chief of the Naval Staff has benefited immensely from the training at the Hope Bottle.
The anniversary lecture delivered by Professor Fyong chronicles the history of the institution, its impact, and the future of education in Nigeria, focusing on student-centered learning, flexibility, technology, scholarship, and role modeling.
All of us have come from all over the world to support this, all right? We are Ibibio, we are Efik, we are Yoruba, we are Igbo, we are from all over Nigeria, all right? So I think if we can pull this off, you know, this is going to be something that's going to be good for Nigeria.
We are also hoping that the infrastructure that have decayed will be fixed.
Distinguished Award of Public Service was presented to the SGF and other old students who have outstanding performances in their various fields of endeavors within and outside the country. It was not just a night of speech making. The True Valor magazine was also launched, while the audience was entertained with heartwarming music.
Congratulations to Hope Waddell on this celebration. Let's go on another break. Keep it here. It was a celebration of excellence and divine elevation as friends and members of Kaduna Squash Club converged on the Crocodile City to honor one of their own. Executive Chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, Muhammad Maman Nanami, Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachikun, captured the ceremony.
It was a get-together of contemporaries, personalities of like minds who have excelled in various walks of life. They have converged on this auditorium to honor one of their own for his elevation, a well-trained tax, accounting and management professional with more than 3 decades of experience in auditing and management. The Executive Chairman, Federal Inland Revenue Service, Muhammad Mamman Nami. With much to wine and dine, friends who also double as members of Flying Horse Racket Squash Club, 1 Division Nigerian Army Kaduna, including Governor of Niger State Abubakar Sani Bello, represented by Secretary to the Government of Niger State Ahmad Ibrahim, and Executive Director Marketing Nigerian Television Authority Salihu Abdulhamid Dembos, acknowledged that the appointment of Muhammad Nami as the Executive Chairman, Federal Inland Revenue Service, is a sign of good things to happen to Nigeria's economic sector.
You should have the conviction that at the end of the day, Muhammad Nami is going to transform FIRS beyond what he has meant.
We know that nobody knows it all. He cannot do it alone. He needs a team. He needs people that would advise him. And we know he can be able to do it.
Wisdom is from God. God has given him that. We pray so that God will give him more wisdom for him to move forward.
Improvement in tax collection and ensuring that the non-oil sector remains the major source of the nation's revenue, among others, the celebrant Executive Chairman FIRS says will be his priority.
From the fall of international oil prices, government has not got option than to focus on the non-oil sector. The non-oil sector all over the world is the sector that provides opportunity for government to drive adequate revenue for purpose of funding infrastructure. You realize that in Africa, though we're number 1 economy in Africa, yet in terms of tax payment and the culture of tax payment in Nigeria, and we are the last.
Members of the Scotch Cricket Club, which the celebrant describes as his second family, staged a spectacular exhibition in honor of the celebrant.
It's time for our last break on the program. Stay with us.
Coronavirus, also known as COVID-19, what you should do and what you should know. What are the symptoms? Runny nose, sore throat, headache, fever, cough, feeling of being unwell. Human coronaviruses or COVID-19 is most commonly spread from an infected person to others through the air by coughing and sneezing, close personal contact such as touching or shaking hands, touching an object or surface with the virus on it, then touching your mouth, nose, eyes without washing your hands. A COVID-19 infected person is most infectious when he or she is displaying symptoms. The most effective way to protect yourself from the virus is to practice good personal hygiene. Wash hands with soap under running water or use an alcohol-based sanitizer if water is not available. Avoid touching your face with your hands. We must also protect others. If we are sick, we should rest and recover at home as much as possible. If we need to go out and see a doctor while sick, we should wear a surgical mask to protect others from being infected. This message is from the National Orientation Agency.
Head of State, General Yakubu Gowon, has joined other Nigerians in wishing Vice President Yemi Osinbajo a happy birthday as he turned 63, describing the Vice President as a stabilizer and a good representative of the people of faith in Nigeria. This was at a communion service held at the Aso Villa Chapel in Abuja. State House correspondent Jido Nifadi reports.
And when everything is said, we know it is you that is standing firm and for all of us who are of faith. And I would like to say that we appreciate you and we know that you are doing an exceptionally Herculean job.
Former head of state, Yakubu Gowon, who graced the occasion along with his wife, Victoria. They are part of dignitaries present to celebrate with Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, who clocked 63 years of age. It is an occasion in which everyone wants to partake in the joy. One of them is an SS1 student, Damilola Oriowo, who, like the biblical Zacchaeus, in an attempt to see the Vice President during the 2019 electioneering campaign, climbed a wall and fortunate to be cited by the Vice President. She is again fortunate to be part of this birthday ceremony.
I want to tell him happy birthday, many, many more years. The Lord is going to continue to protect him. He will do well in his academics.
The Vice President's birthday coincides with the Aso Chapel Communion Service, and in his sermon titled "It is Finished," which was the last speech of Christ while on the cross, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo emphasizes on the need for the people to always trust in God and be at peace, as Christ has already paid the price for their sins.
For those of us who are saved, you must enter into rest. In other words, you must trust Him. Trust Him. Trust Him. Enter into rest. Calm down. You must relax in the knowledge that He who neither sleeps nor slumbers is our Father.
Happy birthday to our dear Vice President. And that's how we end Newsline this week. We appreciate your viewing. And back to the women. I hope we loved you well enough tonight. It was our pleasure. So everyone, I leave you with this. You must be the change you wish to see in the world. Good night and God bless Nigeria.